Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. As always, muchas gracias to everyone for everyone's words, wishes, prayers, as the love and support everyone extends my way. From the heart, gracias. Also, do please like, share, subscribe, and hype the video. Thank you. Well, everyone, first and foremost, my apologies. I haven't been consistent as I said I was going to be. Just the other day, I was recording the last video that went on, right? I don't know. It's just I just got up and it was just something that feel right. And since the family ain't here, just I got this habit sometimes when I'm locked in thought, to just get out the house and in the dark just go up and down the mango area, we'll just say it like that, right? Just go up and down the road with my dog. And well, I won't get into too much detail, but this land touches next door, right? Which is the ranchito of La Limita. They literally touch, but to the back, nothing but tierra, right? But you could see a chaos out that way. And well, anyways, it turned out to be Marini supposedly investigated over there on that side of the rancho in La Limita, not on this side, but you know, one of the vatos here told me, hey, it could be an okie doke, whatever. We ended up going uphill and waiting on, and yeah, it happened to the dot. They came, they hit whatever, look for whatever they were looking for. The workers say they weren't acá y allá, but that anyways, they came, they did their thing, and we didn't have a chance to come down yesterday till today, and today we're still on, maybe, maybe not, on going back. So, anyways, that's what it was about. So I apologize, but I will hopefully try to get back on track the minute everything is quiet. In the sense of video in the morning, midday, and the lives the way I want to every day. I probably will not go live tonight because, like I said, we're waiting on hours type of thing, right? But getting into the story on him, today I want to touch about a camarada, right? Most of all, they call him Smurf from La Habra, from Orange County. And this is once we're in the federal system, right? This one I'm with Sana. And as I mentioned before, there's quite a few pilis at the same yard, right, at the moment. And one of them was Joe. Joe at the moment had his right hand man right there, Crook from Alley Boy, Sada with Frankie, and so on and so forth, right? Anyways, Mirth was one of them individuals. He loved carga, right? He loved to get high. And he had been down already a while. For those that know Smurf, he's a big boy. I mean, big boy. He's not tall wise, just big boy, right? And he saw tattooed out, right? From head to toe, everything tattooed out, cara todo, and he was a baller. Be straight up with you. his his family had money. Just straight up, he would get high and he never worried about hustling on the yard or anything. He just went picked up from whichever carnal he heard that the jale came in good on. He went in and dame whatever, went and stayed high, right? Which his money was always good, on time. So there was never an issue with that, right? Never an issue because he's putting money in Billy's pocket. Of course, there ain't not one thing you're gonna do in prison that ain't gonna be judged, you know, dissected by others. That's just what prison is, right? And Billy's would like him to stay focused just on them, but he went where the Holly was. He wasn't really about, you know, staying true to one Billy to say that, say it like that. You could tell by looking at him, right? That in the streets or maybe past times he was he was a good soldier, right? He's what I heard from Frankie was that yeah, he was with the program, wherever he landed, he made sure things were getting moved around the way the cause needed them to, and the program was riding good, and just all of a sudden he got to where we were at, and he like let loose, started just minding his business, not retreating himself from the camaradas, of course. I'm just saying, just coming around, kekis and programming, and but most of all, just picking up dope and getting high, that type of thing. Which again, it was all good and fun, right? If his money was always there on time. But the thing is, we we do time and we don't take into consideration but what we're doing. That's a fact. I could tell you by experience. We get caught up so much in what's going around us. Like Opitufo here, he was chasing the vitamina for himself, right? Not so much, but he still had to keep an ear out for any word on us going up or something happening, right? He just reached out to his jefita when he needed feria to be delivered to, because he decided to pick up Hale. So he was concentrated in how it's supposed to be. You're inside, keep your eyes on inside. So we lose sight of family on the outside. Time is going, and not we tend to not see it, right, or not care for it, because we're sitting still. You know, oh, 2 3 years, they'll pass by fast or whatever, right? But it's 2 3 years, right? The outside ain't gonna hold still. Life ain't gonna hold still. And in this case, you know, his jefita passed on. His jefita ends up passing on his dad, I guess, a few years earlier. And of course, you got carnales, right? Carnales and sisters, and but unfortunately, it's those tight families are real rare. You guys know what I'm trying to say. It's mostly, even though your jefitos are always there tough, it's real rare when a carnala, or whatever, they hold it tough like that. They eventually go out and they form a family. Life goes on, right? Like I said, and they're doing their thing. And of course, you got those that get upset, stating this fool's busted and he's just using and abusing moms, dads, and puro mandar feria pa acá, pa allá, and so you got them angles. And I don't know nothing about what they left behind and their feria, and it's not my business, right? Of course, they got separated amongst carnales, whatever was pitufos, I'm sure was there. He just didn't have that one person no more that was gonna be in a snap of a finger, stop their life. Oh, I got a kids event, or I got football with for him, and get things done on the spot, right? The way he wanted, the way Jefita did it. So he started having a couple issues in the sense of the money would get there, but sometimes it overlaps the time limit. There's always a time limit, which is in more cases is 10, 20 days. It depends, right? Who you messing with, how he's working it. Because to get at the moment to get your family to put a money order somewhere would not take but a couple days, right? So, anyways, again, it depends, and sometimes he will hit his limits. This year I had a few peelies, and they all work different, right? Some of them would take the advantage of, well, now it's double and you got another 10 days, 20 days, whatever. And some would just say, your time's up, fool. And in this case, I could sincerely say he got favoritism from Joe. It just happened to be Joe and Crook, right? That he asked him for tres gramos, and I guess the sister was supposed to send the feria, right? Which at the moment it is something, right? You're busted, everything's a lot. So to give up, they left him for 400 for him. You know, it's love. It was love, straight up. You know, should have been at least inside, unos ocho nueve, and it would have been love. But anyways, that's not important. It was they left basically. Anyways, that's not important. The amount ain't important. The time limit hit and nada. And Joe Savage with it. Sincerely, if you missed one of Joe's deadlines, I seen he didn't really give people chances, right? He would tell them, "Hey, I don't know what happened, but just talk to him. Just give me another 3, 4 days, and he'll be there." He would tell him like, "Okay, okay, Simon, nomás just include a little bit extra for the delay, and this and that." But at the minute, he was say yeah on that, right? He would turn around and tell Kirk, "Hey, Kirk, not Chales. Túmbale todo lo que puedas and clip him. Get him off the yard. His word ain't good." That's the thing, Is well, that's one thing that a lot of homies I use tend to forget. When you were inside, we're measured by our palabra. That's why I always took care of it in the sense of if I spoke to you and I talked to somebody else on my end, they told me, hey, Wednesday, más tardar Wednesday, ahí está. I would come back to you and tell you, hey, Friday, from Tuesday to Friday, they'll be there at the latest. Just that buffer zone, and it was never behind drug deals, right? But anyways, they a lot of camaradas always forget that we're inside and our palabras is the only thing, right? I grew up with a grandfather that, since as far as I could remember, right, he's always raised me with, we only have three things as a man, and if si no puedes carry these three things on you to the heart, vale, which is palabra, loyalty, and value as a person, valor de persona, then you ain't really worth anything, right? Which those are the three things that are really important in prison. And a lot of camaradas or a lot of people in general, right, tend to forget. And especially once they start getting high, just being sincere. But again, this is about, the homies. He had the feria. Everybody knew he had the feria. He just was never late, and all of a sudden it was, he didn't even have a girl. He didn't even trip on hooking up, pulling a girl that could move his side of his feria around or anything like that. He relied solely on his jefita to do it. When she passed on, brothers, sisters weren't the same. And as much as he pleaded with them, tried to explain the consequences, it just, you tend to forget, we're the ones doing time. Yeah, our family does the time in the sense of heartache, but a lot of them, they don't. Just because we're going through the peer prison experience don't mean your family knows it in and out, right? So long story short, he came and told Joe to double it up, and he was going to have the feria there. And then Joe got mad and told me, well, if I double it up, that's just the original price regardless, right? I was showing you love from the beginning, eh? And anyways, they agreed on an amount. And like I said, Joe turned around and told Crook, hey, that fool has money, so make sure hasta el último calzón, right? Quítenle. And then whack him, remove him. There's no need for someone that's that strung out on the yard and his palabra ain't good no more. So it happened to the dot, right? Crook went for a couple homies. They went up in the cell. They took everything, and then they took care of business. And that was that. The homie that at one point was something allow the dragon to take drive, right? Take control, because the yard overall was chill, right? There was a lot of peelies, and again, it was more, well, it became a priority more to get high than to make yourself useful still for the program, right? But anyways, that's the end look on this one. Everyone, when you get busted, there's a meaning or saying that they say, cuando caes, caes solo. When you get busted alone. Take that to heart. When you get busted alone. Your family's gonna be there, whatever, but remember, you're gonna do your time by yourself too. Don't fall into that comfort zone. At least with with us, with camaradas, that getting high, doing things like that is not forgetting. Forgive, it's allowed, you know, which is cool. My respects. I never did it, but at the end of the day, we weren't saints in there, right? So, anyways, but be trucha. Don't overload family. Remember, time goes on. Sometimes it gets old on family. That's why I always say, value those that are there, cause their value turns gold when you don't have that opportunity to say, "Hey, I'm glad to speak to you." At least, and just be trucha. When you get inside, don't allow one thing to control the mind. Remember, the mind's always the strongest weapon any human being has. And it's not just a person. You allow the mind to go, it's gonna mess you up. So be trucha, be mindful that when we get busted, yeah, we get busted alone. We do time alone per se, right? Because at least for sure the jefita's through heartache, she's gonna be doing the time too. But there's cases where when it comes to responsibilities, there's a lot of vatos that want to lay them on family still on the streets, and it just remember time goes on, things get old. Please stay true to yourself and loyal to your loved ones.
This is so we started. We always